That would be really handy. That way,
Yeah.
then I could really fine tune things a little bit. And I did like some of those features, some of those settings. Some of those settings I think I would probably never touch. I get your point with trying to leave things open for the creativity end of things, and maybe just a bit too much fine tuning could happen in there. But yeah, being able to make a class list would be pretty important for me too.
Yeah, so that's totally available to you. I don't think you have to go through their own account. You can create a new one for them, and it works a lot like Google Classroom, where you can either give them their login information or you can give them a link and then they can join from there.
Okay, that's pretty handy. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Okay, I'm just going to show you a few resources that you can use with Pixton. So you saw that I have stuff on my YouTube channel, but Pixton.com has an amazing YouTube channel, and it has all kinds of little videos. Some of them are like 2 minutes, some of them go a little bit longer, but they show you the basics, and they also show you some of the fancier stuff. So you can create animations within it, so you can have objects that move, like if you're throwing a ball, you can have that in the comic, or when you want to try and add a voiceover, or if you want to add sound. So there's a video for each one of those. So when I first started with my class, I would show them a different video every time I was using Pixton. And it's amazing how quickly they pick this stuff up. And some of them were going on their own. They said, oh, I want to try this. And you see them working on it. And they're zipping off to the YouTube channel to see how to do what they want to do before I even show them how to do it. So that's pretty cool. There's also on their own website, of course, there's lots of lessons there. Check out the educator community, check out the lesson resources, use the help button if you're not sure what's going on. They're also on Twitter, and they're on Facebook, and they're on Pinterest and LinkedIn and Google Plus and Edmodo. So they're definitely very social, and I follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. And I'm always, oh, geez, I never thought about doing something like that. I'm gonna try that tomorrow. And once again, I've posted tutorials and information on my blog, and I'll post this in the discussion area either tonight or tomorrow, so that if you want to look through that, you can use that as well. All right, so I guess we're getting close to the end here. Any other questions before I shut her down for the evening?
I just have one question for you, Ramona, and it concerns using it with a few students or a group of students at one time. Did you have any issues with it hanging up? I know we had issues with the prior one that everyone was using before it got shut down.
Bitstrips?
Yeah, Bitstrips for schools. And one of the things that would happen is a class would come in to use it, and if you had more than 10 or 15 kids, the things would just spin a lot of the time. And we have really robust bandwidth at our school. Like they've got a high speed and large bandwidth cable coming in there. And it just seemed to be that website, when we were using it drew a lot of resources and hung up. And I'm curious if you had more than a few students at a time using it, if you experienced any lagging or anything like that with it.
I have not had that problem, and I've been using it since November, December, and I haven't had that happen. Now, tonight was the first time that I went on it live and couldn't get it to work for me. But like I told you, I talked to my guy, and they were having some technical difficulties today. So I think that's probably an isolated incident. One of the problems we did have was when we tried to run it on the iPads, you have to download there's a free app that you have to download. You still access it through Safari. But if you don't have that app, you can't manipulate it. So you pull it up in Safari, and then Safari knows that it's on an iPad and automatically directs you back to the app. But if you don't have the app there, it just freezes up. So I would say the easiest way to use this is either on the Chromebooks or on a PC. But there is the option for the iPad as long as you remember to download that free app. Does that answer your question, Rod?
Yeah, it really does. And I was going to ask you about iOS, whether I knew that I knew someone else who had used it on that, and I was curious about that. So that's good to know.
Yeah, my kids prefer to go onto the PC for it because they like using the mouse better. But I think that's just a personal preference for them. They have the app, so it's not like it's an issue of it not being there. They just they're used to using a mouse and they want to use the mouse.
I had a quick peek at the iPad, and I wasn't too happy with the ability to use it either. So it was awkward, I found. So I get why the students would prefer the PC.
I got to be honest, I have it on my iPad and I still prefer to use it on my PC. I thought it was just because I was old school maybe, but the kids are showing me that same thing, that they prefer. But it is an option if you only have iPads in the room, and you can still do it that way. Cute, Marion. All right, so if there are no other comments or questions, I'll just zip through this real quick. I will send this to you, Rod, so you can see that there is bibliography with it. And I'll close that up. So now you know everything you need to know to get ready and to use Pixton in your classroom. And if you do have questions, please feel free to send me an email. And if I can't answer them, then I'll talk to my guy and I'll get back to you. And I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight and sharing with me.
Hey, thanks, Ramona. Just on behalf of the group, there's so much information you shared. Just there's a lot of avenues, I think, just in playing around that you can get lost in, whether it's lesson creation or even setting up your avatar. You can spend a lot of time doing that, but you walk through a whole lot of material there, and it's very clear to me that you're as close to an expert as anyone's going to find in the province of Ontario, with knowing that it's just newly been licensed to us. Thanks so much for sharing your expertise and really for preparing so well that technical glitch is barely noticeable. You did a great job. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm a panicker, so I thought, what if something goes wrong with my Wi-Fi? I better have something ready. So I just want to thank everybody again, and I really have only touched the surface of what Pixton can do. There's way more in there, and if you're interested and you get playing in it, you'll be surprised how quick you become an expert. So thanks again for tuning in tonight.
Thanks, Ramona. This was awesome.
Thank you, and we'll see y'all online.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you again, Marion, for being my moderator.
No problem, anytime.
Angela and everyone, thanks for tuning in. So I'm gonna say goodbye